Good morning, third grade. Today we're going to be learning more about fractions. Our targets for today are I can identify non-unit fractions and I can explain non-unit fractions. You know that a fraction are equal-sized parts of a whole. This circle is showing fractions because there are two equal-sized parts. This rectangle is showing a fraction because there are 8 equal-sized parts. This triangle is not showing a fraction because while there are two parts, the two parts are not the same size or shape. The parts are not equal-sized. You also know that a unit is the whole. It's the object that is divided into equal-sized parts. You've learned that your unit can change, and your unit can be many different objects. Your unit, when we're using our fraction kit, could be the black circle, but it could also be any of the other parts, like the yellow or the blue. Our unit can also be things in our real life, like a pizza that you're sharing between different people, or a chocolate bar. A unit fraction is one of the equal-sized parts that a unit is divided into. So look at this circle. The unit is divided into two equal parts. We call those parts halves. The unit fraction, or the name of one of those equal-sized parts, would be 1/2. This rectangle is divided into 8 equal-sized parts. We call those fractional parts eighths. The unit fraction, or one of those equal-sized parts, would be called 1/8. Each one of the parts in the fraction is 1/8 of the whole unit. The unit fraction is what we call one of the equal-sized parts. We're going to go ahead and warm up our brains. We're going to look at each figure and then answer the question and write the word name for each fraction. First, look at number 1. How many equal-sized parts is the unit broken into? Yes, it's broken into 5 equal-sized parts. So now I want you to think each part is how much of the whole. What is the unit fraction? The unit fraction is 1/5. Look at figure 2. How many equal-sized parts is the unit broken into? This unit is broken into 8 equal-sized parts. So what would we call the unit fraction, or one of the equal-sized parts? Yes, we would call each part 1/8 of the whole unit. Look at figure 3. How many parts is the unit broken into? Yes, the unit is broken into 4 equal-sized parts. Now think, each part is how much of the whole? What is the unit fraction? Oh yes, each part is 1/4 of the whole. Look at figure 4. How many parts is the unit broken into? Yes, this unit is broken into 6 equal-sized parts. Each part is how much of the whole? Each part is 1/6 of the whole. And finally, look at figure 5. How many equal-sized parts is the unit broken into? Yes, the unit is broken into 4 equal-sized parts. Each part is how much of the whole? Yes, each part is 1/4 of the whole. Awesome job warming those brains up with me, third grade. Now we're ready to start learning about our new information today, non-unit fractions. Non-unit fractions are made up of more than one unit fraction. Look at this picture. This unit is clearly, the circle is clearly broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal-sized parts. So the unit fraction is 1/4. That means that this piece is 1/4 of the whole, this piece is 1/4 of the whole, this piece is 1/4 of the whole, and this piece is also 1/4 of the whole. You can see that the space of 2 of those unit fractions is covered or shaded. Here is 1/4, it's shaded blue, and here's another fourth, it's shaded or covered blue. That tells us that the fraction here is 2/4. 2/4 is a non-unit fraction because it covers the space of more than one unit fraction. This fraction would be 2/4 because there are 4 equal parts that the unit's broken into, and 1/2 of the 1/4 parts are shaded or covered. This fraction is 2/4. It is a non-unit fraction because more than one of the unit fraction spaces are covered. Here's another one. This unit is broken into 8 equal parts, so the unit fraction is 1/8. Each one of the pieces of the equal-sized parts in this fraction is 1/8 of the whole. You can see that that's labeled here. The space of 1, 2, 3 of the 1/8 unit fractions is covered. So this fraction would be 3/8 because 3 of the 8 total equal-sized parts are covered. Now, third grade, it's your turn. I want you to look at this fraction and think, how many parts is this unit broken into? This unit is broken into 3 equal-sized parts. What do we call these fractional parts? Yes, when a unit is broken into 3 equal-sized parts, we call the fractional parts thirds. What is the unit fraction? What would we call one of the equal-sized parts that this unit is broken into? The unit fraction, or the name for one equal-sized part, is 1/3. Now, third grade, you need to think, what non-unit fraction here is being shown? What non-unit fraction is covered with brown pieces? Oh yes, there are clearly 2 spaces covered by the brown pieces, and there are 3 total spaces. 2 of the 1/3 pieces are covered, so this fraction is 2/3. Awesome job, third grade. Now, third grade, we're going to look at a few more examples. And now our unit is the yellow piece. It's no longer a circle. We're going to name each fraction and tell what we know. We'll also tell if it's a unit fraction or a non-unit fraction. Well, I can see here that I have, you may want your fraction kit to help you. I can see here that I have 1 gray piece on the yellow piece. I know that 4 total gray pieces would cover this yellow piece. So the name for one of the gray pieces on the yellow unit is 1/4. This is a unit fraction. It takes exactly 4 grays to cover the unit, so they are called fourths. 1/4 is the unit fraction because it names just one of the 4 equal-sized parts that fit exactly on the unit. Let's go ahead and look at another one. Still, the yellow piece is my unit, and now you can see I'm using pinks to cover it. I know that it takes 3 pinks to cover the whole unit, and I can see that 2 of them are currently on the unit. This fraction would be 2/3. It takes 3 pinks to cover the unit, so they are named thirds. 2/3 is a non-unit fraction that covers the space of 2 unit fractions. Now, third grade, it's your turn. Make sure that you have your fraction kit to help you. The yellow piece is still your unit, so you'll want to get the yellow piece out, and we're going to start with dark blues. You can see I have 1 dark blue on the yellow unit. What fraction is this? You're right, this would be 1/2. Now I want you to think, is this a unit fraction or a non-unit fraction? This is a unit fraction. It takes 2 blues to cover the unit, so they are named halves. 1/2 is a unit fraction because it names only one of the 2 equal-sized parts that fit exactly on the unit. Now, third grade, look at the next fraction. The yellow piece is still our unit, so keep that out, but you'll want to get out gray pieces now too. You can see that I have 3 on the unit. 3 gray pieces on the yellow unit. What fraction is this showing? Yes, this is 3/4. Is this a unit fraction or a non-unit fraction? This is a non-unit fraction. It takes 4 grays to cover the unit, so they are named fourths. 3/4 is a non-unit fraction that covers the space of 3 unit fractions. Finally, look at this bottom fraction. The yellow piece is still the unit, so keep that out, but put your grays away and go ahead and get out the pink. What fraction is shown when there's one pink piece on the yellow unit? Yes, this is 1/3. Is this a unit or non-unit fraction? This is a unit fraction. It takes 3 pinks to cover the unit, so they are named thirds. 1/3 is a unit fraction because it names only one of the 3 equal-sized parts that fit exactly on the unit. Now, 3rd grade, we have time for a little more practice together. Go ahead and look at the diagram, and we're going to fill in each blank about the diagram. Look at A. How many equal-sized parts are there? Oh yes, the unit is broken into 6 equal-sized parts. How many of the equal-sized parts are shaded? 2 of the equal-sized parts are shaded. So, the fraction that's shaded is how many sixths? Yes, the fraction that's shaded is 2/6. Now look at figure B. What is the total number of equal-sized parts? Oh yes, there are clearly 3 equal-sized. Now look at figure B. How many equal-sized parts is this unit broken into? Yes, this unit is broken into 3 equal-sized parts. How many parts are shaded? In this figure, one. Now look at figure 2. What is the number of equal-sized parts? Yes, this unit is broken into 3 equal-sized parts. What is the number of equal-sized parts shaded? Oh yes, just one of the parts is shaded. So the fraction name is 1/3. You're right. Go ahead and look at figure C. What is the number of equal-sized parts? Count carefully. You're right. There are a total of 11 equal-sized parts in this unit. How many of those equal-sized parts are shaded? You're right. 4 parts are shaded. So the fraction that's shaded is 4/11. You're right. Finally, look at this last one. How many total parts is this unit broken into? You're right, this unit just has one part. And how many of those parts are shaded? You're right again, one of those parts are shaded. So 3rd grade, we would call this fraction 1/2 because there's just one part and the whole thing shaded. 1/2 is shaded. We have time for just a little more practice together. Take a look at this shape. I want you to think about how many total parts there are in the unit and how many of those parts are shaded. What fraction is shown? Well, because I can see that there are clearly 1, 2, 3, 4 total parts, I know that these will be fourths. 2 of them are shaded, so this fraction is clearly 2/4. Look at the next problem. You'll do this one on your own. What fraction is shaded? You're right. The fraction shaded is 1/4 because there are 4 total parts in the unit and 1 is shaded. Look at this next fraction. What fraction is shaded? You're right. The fraction shaded here is 4/6 because there are 6 total parts in the unit and 4 of them are shaded. Look at this fraction. What fraction is shown here? You're right. This fraction is 1/3 because there are 3 total parts in the unit and one of them is shaded. Here's our final problem. What fraction is shaded? Count carefully. You're right. This fraction is 3/12. There are 12 total parts and 3 are shaded. Thank you so much for learning about non-unit fractions with me today, 3rd grade. We're going to learn more about fractions tomorrow. Have a great day.